Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Troy David Phillips here at Flashback Comics in Woodbridge, Virginia. I've given you another one of my spotlights today. I kind of want to bring you up to speed on where we are with DC's Rebirth. You might have been there at the beginning when DC did their big relaunch, the DC Universe Rebirth. Rebirth number 1 came out, and it showed us the return of Wally West, and it showed us the consequences of Wally West coming back, talking to Barry Allen the Flash. Now Barry is remembering that something used to be different. It wasn't always the way that it was, the way we remembered it in New 52. We also saw Batman dig out of the wall of the Batcave a button, a smiley face button with a unique blood smear on it. Now, we recognize this button as the button of the comedian. 24 issues later of Batman, I feel like I'm not really spoiling anything for you. So, from the beginning of Rebirth to now, what do we have? Well, we have a lot of things, and in no particular order. What we have is Damian Wayne and Jonathan Kent, the son of Superman and Lois Lane, meeting and forming an uneasy friendship partnership. And this is in the pages of Super Sons. Jonathan is also a regular character in the Superman title itself, as well as Action Comics. Action Comics has shown us the mystery of the other Clark Kent, the Clark Kent that didn't have super abilities. This Clark Kent was revealed to actually be the fifth dimensional imp, Mr. Mxyzptlk. That story has moved along now, and we are in a whole different place for Superman, the formation of a new Superman Revenge Squad. The Superman Revenge Squad originally was made up of characters who were nemesis of Superman to some capacity or another. This new Revenge Squad is made up of characters that are each individually more than a match for the Man of Steel, whether they be Blank or the Cyborg Superman or the Eradicator Superman, and they have just reached out to General Zod. Superman is going to have his hands full with that. Well, that's our guy in the primary red and blue. What about Batman? Have you been following Tom King's Batman? If not, let me tell you that you should be following Tom King's Batman, which would take us through the introduction of Gotham and Gotham Girl, which would show us Batman's crime, his war on crime in Gotham City, and his somewhat expanded supporting cast, also shown in the pages of Detective Comics, where we would also see Spoiler and Orphan and Timothy Drake, the Red Robin, and Batwoman, and Clayface now. Clayface has done a face turn, if I may use that term, if I may borrow that from pro wrestling. So Clayface is on the side of the Angels now. A lot has been going on with Batman, and in the main title, especially with Santa Prisca and Bane and Catwoman. Batman has had a couple of good moments with Catwoman. Tom King is writing some incredible stories with this. The characterization and the development of Batman's relationship with Catwoman is moving along swimmingly. Speaking of swimming, there is a very, very good Rebirth title. If you're not checking it out, you need to be checking out Aquaman. Aquaman is fantastic. Aquaman rolling along from storylines that began during the New 52, just moved right along into the Rebirth era. Aquaman is fantastic. King of Atlantis, trying to set up a peace accord between the surface world, primarily the United States, and Atlantis itself, trying very hard to keep one foot in both worlds and keep these two peoples, these two realms, from clashing together. Now, there are people who don't want that to happen. There are people antithetical to this. One of them was the organization called Nemo, a secret organization that was taken over by Black Manta. And Black Manta once again stuck a barb at Aquaman and brought us to the brink of war between the surface world and Atlantis. This uncovers a lot of mistrust and a lot of intrigue, and it makes Aquaman's life very, very difficult, especially since he's trying to advance his romantic relationship with Mera, and Mera is trying to steep herself in Atlantean culture and traditions so that she can be properly wife to Arthur, Queen of Atlantis, but there are Atlanteans who don't want that to happen. They have traditions, they have prophecies. It is difficult. It's hard for Aquaman to be Aquaman, but Aquaman has been shown in these pages to be a fantastic character. Incredibly powerful, much more powerful than people give him credit for. We think of Aquaman and we think of the Super Friends. Aquaman's a guy that talks to fish and can't be out of water for very long. No, Aquaman is physically powerful enough to fight with Superman. He's not going to actually beat the Kryptonian, but he's tough enough to make this fight interesting. Aquaman is a founding member of the Justice League of America, and Aquaman's membership in the Justice League is yet one more thing that makes it difficult for him to have one foot in the surface world and one foot in Atlantis. Where are we right now? Well, right now, we have a coup. We have the Atlanteans calling for the abdication of Arthur for a new king of Atlantis, and Arthur doesn't see it that way. This conflict is heating up and it's going to explode, and if you're not reading Aquaman, you want to start reading Aquaman now. Fortunately for you, if you've missed any of these Rebirth books, DC has been rolling out the trade paperbacks at a pretty good clip, each one doing, generally speaking, about 6 to 8 issues, so it's a great way to catch up on things that you might have missed out on. Sold out issues, first issues, second issues, third issues. It's a good way to get in at the beginning and then roll on as the stories come out.